Let's go. And we're back for another one. Underground World News Live. What is going on, everybody? Let's get the mic check out the way. Right out of the gate. Much love to everybody out there. I want to thank all the folks that share the stream. It's appreciated to the fullest. Everyone that gets it out there in front of other eyes that I can't reach, I appreciate it. And thank you for all the feedback, everybody. All the 5x5s there. Yeah, much love. Good to see everybody out there. Lots going on, as always. If you got anything to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. You can @ me in the chat as well to get my attention. Lights it up in red. And I want to thank Steve for the super chat right at the gate. Appreciate it to the fullest. And anyone else, Skibi, thank you for that super chat. Anyone that buys a coffee or PayPal, anything like that, any support for the channel, all appreciated to the fullest. Sharing is caring. And thank you all for the prayers, those that keep me in them. Thank you. Love, Mama. All right, we got a bit of an event that took place today that was kind of developing, that is kind of still developing. They kind of put it to rest a little bit, but kind of not. Now, this is a weird situation. We get an emergency alert coming out this afternoon. The University of Massachusetts, they have a campus lockdown at one of the facilities, and it was because an individual, a 5'5" Asian male, which I have video of and dropped, he was going around pointing a long rifle around, and people saw this and were like, what in the heck is going on? So all kinds of people started calling the cops. By the time the cops got there, they couldn't find anyone. They swept the whole area. They say that they're still sitting there babysitting the area overnight in case any other calls come in. So they're going to have, quite a few different officers patrolling this area, kind of watching out, just if anything pops off, if they see anything. But this guy, he was there. The guy in the video matching the description, it was definitely him. Because someone at the campus caught it out their window. They looked down and they were like, what is going on? They were like, call 911, call 911. So we got some Asian dude with a long rifle running around this area. They ordered a shelter in place, but it was lifted after this 2-hour lockdown was in place, and they didn't find nobody. No one was shot. No one was shot at, anything like that. There were no shots fired. It was pretty much what I showed in the video. It's the video I just dropped, the last one here tonight before we went live. For those that want to check it out, that individual is still on the loose. Again, authorities saying a male suspect described as an Asian male, 5'5", wearing a gray or a white sweatshirt and black shorts. He was carrying a long weapon, and this was back behind the dorms. Interesting, they say a massive police investigation soon began on campus with the FBI, the ATF, and the SWAT teams. Drones and police dogs all part of the response, and they couldn't find him. Anytime they say the FBI is there that quick and investigating, I always raise an eyebrow. And yeah, and much love. I did add a mod here tonight. Much love, Steve. Again, thank you for the super chat, and welcome to the mod crew. And I will say, just overall for everyone out there, mods, don't be like, respect freedom of speech, people's opinions, even though they may not be agreed with. And as long as someone's not attacking me, someone's attacking me or dissing or anything like that, then or attacking anyone else, threatening their lives, then obviously ban them. But a difference in opinion, obviously, I don't want to see anyone getting banned for that. I've actually been shown proof of someone getting banned here recently, and they didn't need to be. So that's why I'm making the statement. Okay, so I will update on this shelter in place once I get new information, or if we get any new information. So just heads up, man. You know the details. And speaking of that, we've got this report here that says that we've got Chinese spies working overtime in the United States, big time. And they're getting caught left and right. Usually every week I've got a story or two talking about them getting busted, trying to smuggle materials out of the country, into the country, vice versa, information, knowledge. There was just one that was a part of Tesla, part of Elon Musk's. It was that or SpaceX. It was one of two. It was one of Elon's companies. Well, the guy worked there, and he took all the information, and he went to China and basically uploaded it and gave it to the CCP and was like, here. Dark Wolf, much love. I appreciate it. So Chinese spies working overtime here, and it's not really a surprise, but I think it's something that it's a bit of a setup. If you ask me, we know, I said it before, they own land right next to our bases, like right up to the fence. I mean, day one, if that was me, all that would be done. And the military would have been jumping the fence, going on the property, and seizing everything, especially to a number one hostile enemy on the world stage. That, as Christopher Wray put it, they're embedded within every bit of our infrastructure. Nice to know they didn't do nothing about it. He didn't do nothing about it. But it was like flipping us the finger on the way out the door from him. Like, oh, yeah. And by the way, the Chinese are embedded in everything. See ya. It's exactly what he did. Facts. So you add that in with, I don't know, the million plus that slipped across the border. And when that happened, we covered this. The Chinese were caught being brought in mass, military-age men. You can go back and look at the footage, look at all the information, and they were being brought through specific routes, like VIP routes, separate from the moms and the kids and the other migrants that were coming through, getting all the cameras on them that were part of the hordes crossing in. But that was a bit of a distraction. And they were going up canals and back channels by boat, getting taken to properties and disappearing into the country left and right. They were also coming across the northern border in mass as well. And a much love, a shout out to all you guys up there in the northern areas that sent me that information where they got IDs on properties up there where so many migrants are coming across and ditching their IDs where they were. You know, things are changing, but I can't say that they're doing much on the northern border. All this talk and all the military action and clamping down has been on the southern border. So I'm going to get on some updates with Canada here in a little bit that are disturbing as well. But add on top of this, Trump talking about bringing 600,000. I wish it was the 600,000 Chinese students into this country. Like, something just does not sit well with me at all. At all with this whole thing. Well, you know, over here, it's like he says, oh, I'm good friends with Xi Jinping. We're all buddies. He says he's going to stop the flow of fentanyl in here. I trust him. Oh, really? Really? But on the other hand, you're over here about to wage war with Venezuela and all these cartels because of the drugs coming into this country. Like, which is it? Is your buddy stopping it, or are you about to wage war? See, the world's a stage. They're not perfect in none of their moves. And as the last I checked, in terms of the drug running, and it's a fact, you know who the biggest pusher in every country is. It's their own governments, and always has been. It ain't nothing changed here. Ain't nothing changed here, man. Look, we need help, but man, this is such a setup, especially with the Chinese. Can't help but think, flip a few switches. Remember the video I showed, man? These guys were in warehouses, like, just got to be like hundreds of thousands of these young guys, and they're all training cyber attack. Like, really? You've got that many training for cyber attack? Yeah, is what they say, you know, against America. And you can't forget, China has built full-blown mock cities that have remained empty for whatever purposes. Their military purposes, they've done a lot of weird stuff out there. And even mocking our aircraft carriers and like bombing them out in the desert and all this stuff. So I don't trust them. And anything ever happens, I got a funny feeling, even if it's a setup, the history books will write that it was China that did it, or a combination. You know who's on the other side. It doesn't matter if China, Russia, whoever, they're all on the same team at this point on the world stage. If America falls, the bad guys got to get the credit for it. Somebody's got to take credit for it in the history books. If we get hit with an EMP or a cyber attack or something to cripple this country, somebody did it, right? It very well could be your own government. because the Great Reset is coming and it hasn't happened yet. We'll get to that here in a second. First off, we've got 15 dead after a world famous tram crashes in Lisbon. This is like nightmarish. I've been on one of these in Gatlinburg, the Smoky Mountains. They've got different trams to go up the mountain, and they've got one similar to this. Not quite as big, but apparently this one, the cable's broke, and that's always the biggest fear when you're up there on one of these. 15 people died, 18 more injured. Just insane. It'd be horrific. RIP to the souls lost in that event. We have the Space Force being moved out of Colorado. Space Command is moving from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama. It's a very curious move. And it's kind of a wow move because it shows that they're willing to move huge assets right now under this president to new positions. And down south is where everything is getting set up. You've seen Elon, you've seen SpaceX, all these big companies flee California. And now Colorado is getting like the same treatment. And largely, they lean left in their Democratic government there, so to speak, is being targeted. And I asked the guys earlier, like, what city do you think would be next? And they're like, well, Denver, in Colorado on that map, for sure. And I'm like, well, very possible at this point, because Trump's like, they're making huge moves. This is like military type of moves. They're like picking up and leaving and opening up shop in a completely different state. It's making a statement. Like, we're done with you in terms of that. It still makes you wonder about the massive underground base and everything that's under the airport in Denver. And no, it's not a conspiracy. It's very real. Plenty of people have been in there. And plenty of truckers and other people have been in the tunnel systems that go under this country. And they go into the mountains and they go into these caverns and even Cheyenne Mountain and things like that. Yeah, at this point, it has to be us to overthrow the top at this point. It got to overcome that left-right paradigm. That's what this is all about. But I'm going to play this clip here real quick. This is just Trump announcing with this team here that they're making this move and that it's official. And I remember years ago when people laughed and said, Space Force, haha, acting like it was fake. Of course, that's exactly what they said in the beginning. It didn't end up being. It was very real, obviously. But people do that all the time. When something comes out that they can't fathom or they can't handle, wrap their head around, they want to laugh at it and say it's fake and all this other stuff. But it's very real, obviously, and they've moved forward with it, and they're advancing.
Being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama.
Wow. So, Rocket City. Not setting up shop on the coast anywhere. Kind of odd. Other people are saying the same thing. Are they preparing for something here? This is a huge shift. Quietly, like openly, but like not with a bunch of just like they're moving, and like no explanation, outside of the fact that we know their beef with the Democrats. They're taking it there. And where I see this going is obviously if anything happens to Trump, okay, real deal, any ailments, he goes down like falls and like gets hurt or something, like can't do his duties. Anything that happens with him, it all goes to JD Vance. He would take power. Now, what's crazy is if Trump was to slip and fall in the kitchen and like go into some kind of coma, just say something crazy, JD Vance would step into power and he would finish out Trump's term under those emergency type of powers, but then he would be open and eligible to run for president, become president, and run for 8 years. So they are setting JD Vance up as an all-star. Remember, or if you don't know, JD Vance has changed his name several times, which is interesting. It's the same thing that Benjamin Netanyahu's done. Benjamin Netanyahu. And it's not even that. It goes back. Again, these people change their names so much. It's crazy. When you look into it, it's like, why? But then you start to fall down the rabbit holes of what's really going on. Much love, Crown Jewels in the house. I got some UK updates here in a little bit, my man. As always, much love. If you got anything from on the ground there you want to share in the chat, definitely relay it. If you got anything going on out there. And I did get the fresh music that you sent, but again, I can't get my headphones to work right in my Mixcraft. Something that when I got time, I'm feverishly trying to get fixed. Anyhow, I'm going to keep this pushing and go to Cracker Barrel real quick. I want to show you the chart here that shows why they quickly switched everything back. As soon as they announced that new logo, everything literally went downhill. And as soon as it got down to like this emergency level, well, they switched it back. So they about Bud Lighted themselves, right? Big time. And some are saying they still have. Changing the menu, changing everything that people don't like it. All right, well, I guess when it comes to the people out there, you better keep them happy, like in this instance. And I mean, changing a logo and all that's one thing, but then the total design of the place and the menu and all the items and making it really bland and not what people come there for is just, I don't know. Let's go on to ConocoPhillips, because if they keep it up, it's just going to be the next business bankrupt and gone. Let's be honest. The jobs are getting wiped out. It's insane. Here's one. ConocoPhillips going to slash up to 25% of their workforce. Huge numbers. Just another one. A lot of jobs gone. With obviously no job openings. Although I tweeted out earlier that for the first time there's like this massive amount of job openings, but massive amount of unemployed people in America. And it's like, hold on. What's going on here? Jobs are getting wiped out though, and hard to find. Large U.S. companies going bankrupt at the fastest pace since the global financial crisis. That's bad, man. So, like, this is worse than, like, lockdowns, which is hard to believe because we were watching them drop like flies and everything else, getting ransacked by BLM and all that. Remember? But this is all like caught up. And I'll never forget, like, it came out of Trump's mouth himself that his job is to reset this whole thing. And like they're about to do it. One of his main guys to do it, though, looks to not get into position until March of next year, which gives us actually a window when you look at it. And it's like, let's hope that the financial stuff doesn't go too crazy by then. But, throughout the years, I've been reporting on this stuff left and right. You just wake up sometimes and there's issues with the bank or if there's this and that. But largely, we haven't seen anything massive hit the banks. Like no big bank runs. There is still a threat out there that if the headlines break, that the biggest banks in America are tied into money laundering, fentanyl money through China, it's going to bring them down. This goes back to Buffett selling a bunch of the banking stock in banks that were directly connected to this. And that TD Bank or whatever of Toronto that first got hit, people heard about it, but because it wasn't an American bank, it didn't send shockwaves throughout everything. As soon as a big time American bank gets called out and pulled into this, like large scale, like into court and all this other stuff, and like Trump puts the crosshairs on them, like that in itself is going to cause things to tank. And if they want to initiate this whole thing, they've got a solution. They've got a whole reset. They've got a digital currency, everything ready to go. They just need the event. I've been warning about this for the longest time. But our company is going out of business, man. It's just sad. I'm watching the death of America. I'm watching it. I'm reporting on it left and right. Large U.S. companies going bankrupt at the fastest pace since the global financial crisis. Just, it's not going to stop. It's on like hyperdrive until they do reset it. And then Trump will try to take some kind of credit. Look at this one. Bissett says we may declare a national housing emergency in the fall. That's crazy. Combination of elevated mortgages, record high home prices, all that. It's caused what they're saying is one of the worst housing affordability crises in a generation. Stopping many people from being able to buy a home. So, they could do quite a few things. And look, as long as Powell is in there, the Fed is not even controlled by the federal government. The Fed is its own entity. I know many of you have heard this before. It's crazy. It's a private corporation, and Trump has sway on, the picks he can put in there and who can become the director, which is what they're doing now. The guy that I told you earlier is going to take over in March when Powell steps down. That's when this is going to go into hyperdrive. So we do got a window here, in my opinion. But that's just on the economic level. Like any other thing could happen in any of these other windows. As I've said before, or if you missed it, November 11th of this year, 11/11, a window opens in the heavens above. And some of the craziest people on this planet use these windows as a time to launch rituals. You don't have to believe in it, but you at least need to know how your enemy operates. A window opens up on 11/11 with not just one, not just two, not just three, but 4 objects in retrograde, which is massive, and to them, huge. Just one going through the right constellation, like on blind 11, signified enough for them years and years and years in advance that they plan a ritual for that window in time. This is why you can fold your money up and you can see events. And it's all real deal and you know it. At least you should. Okay? We are approaching the next blind 11 type of event. And if you forgot about that or you didn't pay attention or didn't live through it or something, like, it was a shell shocker. Big time. It changed the course of everything. And that's what this next event's going to do. It's going to change. I think it's going to be a series of events that's going to shift everything. And it's designed to knock America off its perch. Not to like drop a nuke on the entire country and we're all gone forever. It's not how it's going to work here. This place can suffer big, as any place can or could, but we're definitely in a decline. You've been living under a rock or in denial if you can't see the facts. America is just slipping. We used to go anywhere, anyone that threatened anything about money, we would go and we'd crush them. Now things are changing. They've got their, in my opinion, their digital bait set, which has been Bitcoin. Okay, and anyone that's in crypto out there, this and that, well, it's every crypto is different, but it's all on blockchain. Okay. And as I said before, blockchain itself isn't a bad technology. It's about the people that use it. Just like if they use a gun or a knife or a laser, it's about the people that have it. They're going to do good things. If you got bad people, they're going to do bad things. Same thing with the blockchain technology. Businesses can use it to flourish, to store information, all this stuff. A tyrannical government can use it to track your every freaking move. And that's what you don't want. And that's what we've been warning about for a decade. Okay? But the government, as you're about to see here in just a second, in a couple of stories from now, they're going the backdoor route on these gullible, small-minded Americans, is the nicest way that I can put it. And they're going to get them with the CBDC, even though they're writing executive orders against it, all because it doesn't matter. They won't call it a CBDC, as you're about to see. And no, this has nothing to even do with blockchain. A huge event is coming where they're switching all of this over. The best thing that I can think of, if I'm the bad guys, is to hold all the banks hostage for a couple days, week, whatever, keep everyone freaking out, and just simply say, all right, you got them all freaked out now. Have them download this wallet. And give them the solution. That's all it is. That's all that's going to happen. It'll be a swift solution. Everyone would do it quickly, be able to get gas, get food, get right back to normal life, and that they know this. They know this. The whole herd, in a blink of an eye, will switch onto the system. All they got to do is download an app. I mean, that's it. That's all you literally have to do. Download a new app or a wallet, and you're on the new digital system. And every bank is already set up to deal with all this. All these things have gone into motion. And again, this year, things went into motion behind the scenes to help the government do this. But look at this title. Is the Fed setting up Trump to be the scapegoat? Are they? Well, I've already told you. It came out of Trump's own mouth. He was chosen for this. He was sent to reset the whole thing. I don't know what else to tell you. It came out of his own freaking mouth, man. Like, it's some of these things are like right in front of your face, and like you're either living in denial or I don't even know what. Living in a lie. We don't do that around here. Okay? So what it's signaling is this thing is coming down, in that, yes, it's going to be on Trump's watch, but on the opposite side, it's like a phoenix raising from the ashes. Do you see? Trump's all about accolades and being the Gentile Messiah and, you know, Nobel Prizes and all this stuff. Like, he's already accepted this role. It came out of his own mouth, as I've told you. So the only reason I could see him doing that is if you fast forward to, like, what is, I just told you, the quick answer is they're the heroes. They are the answer. They come to save the day. The government does. Oh, how convenient. Imagine that. And who gets all the credit for it? Trump. Just like that. His boys are making more lucrative moves than him right now in the crypto world. World Liberty Financial, them dropping the Trump coin, pumping and dumping it, Melania, all that the same. Like, yeah, they're making a killing over there in that realm, and I don't see them out doing any charities for homeless or anything like that. I'm just looking for a righteous billionaire out there that's doing something good, and I can't find it anywhere. So the EU is falling apart. So check this out. This is not just going to be an American thing. And as a matter of fact, we're all interconnected. Kind of like Jenga. You pull too many pieces out, man, this thing's coming down, right? House cards coming down. The EU is accelerating toward collapse. They're doing this on purpose. All of the countries are falling apart. They've designed it this way, and you know it. They've flooded the migrants in. They've turned them upside down, and it's turned into chaos. Collapse on an economic level is next, and it's happening. You look at the situation in France. Look at the situation in Germany. Look at the situation in Japan, Greece, all these places, man. Globally. Look how they crippled Russia and stealing all their money and everything else. Well, we're going to get to that here in a second. There is a new world order that has arisen, like right now. And people are again sleeping on it because the Trumps over here running the show. So there is an acceleration in the EU to make this go down. Which means, and they've admitted, their answer is the CBDCs. They haven't kept a secret there. They are forcing the CBDC. The CBDC is the answer to all this for them over there. But over here, they won't call it that, okay? Because people flipped out. And we're like, we don't want a CBDC. Trump wrote an executive order. And I always say it's like throwing a dog a bone is what he did to his base. They took it. They chewed on it. And then a little while later, after that bone was gone and some rumblings started back up, they even came back out and they said again, they made another statement against a CBDC and threw it like a bone to them. It's the best way I know to put it. It's literally what they're doing to them. And these small-minded people are like taking it over and like accepting it and chewing it and sitting down, shutting up and not calling out the pedos. They're not doing nothing. They're not barking about anything. You see, they're docile. And that is what has happened. I call it black magic. It's like a magic trick that they've ran on these people. I see these degen things like a foot on top of the head of a MAGA person, and they're like, "Oh, but you would have voted for Kamala." And that's like the only excuse they can ever say. Like, "Oh, I guess Kamala was better," and it's like, no, definitely wasn't. You obviously still are not intelligent enough to see that it was all a trap. It was a gimmick to send in something so bad that you hated it for the other side to want this police state, basically, that's getting ushered in, to want that side of it, to want Trump. But they didn't say that up front. They didn't say police state. No, they made it a pretty package and all this. That they manufactured it a clever way. They did. But now, when people are protecting pedos and all this other stuff, there's lines in the sand that are being drawn. And you have to ask yourself, like, where do you sit? There's no fence riding in this. You get bucked off of it. All right, when it comes to pedos and things like that, no. economics, all this other crap is one thing, but when you get to this level of that, Joe trip, and all that, like, that's a hard line drawn in the sand, like in blood, if you will. Okay? And people that still choose to stay on the Trump train, then, like, you wonder why people are saying things and doing stuff. You got to look at where you're sitting right now. Everybody understands that Trump was the better pick over Biden and Kamala. We're past that. It's in the rear view, right? Way past that. But the understanding should be that, man, people are not doing anything. Like, where's our militias? They're like not to be found. And like, if this war pops off like it's about to, with Venezuela and Mexico and all this in our border, we're gonna need our militias like in every city and every town, all over the place. When attacks start happening, blowback starts happening, and they're warning it's gonna happen. All right, here's the one I'm talking about with CBDCs. The quiet rebranding of a CBDC as a digital ID. This is the scary part. They're going to get everything that they want out of a digital ID. The same stuff, the same tracking, compliance, all that. They're going to get it. If you have an ID that has all your biometrics on it and everything else, it's very dangerous, because always remember this. If they want you to give up biometrics and get this real ID or whatever ID, remember, you have a valid argument. And I would love it. Remember me. Remember me when this day comes. If you guys ever face this challenge and you want to contest it, film it. Have somebody next to you with a camera or something, and I want to. It would be nice to have people say to the clerk in there, that if my biometrics get hacked, I can never replace them again. And that is effectively what you're making the password on every ID, because that's how it's going to work. Your biometrics is what's going to be your everything. I mean, it's going to be your fingerprint, because it is your fingerprint. But it's not just your fingerprint. It's your facial print. And it's all the points of your face. And it's everything about you. All your biometric data tied into this. When that gets stolen or hacked one time, it's over. You can never replace it. You can never reset it. It is just going to create a nightmare. You mark my words. Clip it, snip it, save it. Gold hits a new record. I told you on the last one, gold and silver on a tear. And they're not going to stop. I'm telling you for a long time, get your gold, get your silver. When things go crazy, you're going to want a little pile to barter with. But you need to know your neighbors. You need to know the people around you. What are they willing to barter with? Do they have anything to barter? Do they bring anything to the table? Are they just going to be leeches? Or are they going to potentially try to kill you for your last can of soup? Like, you need to stop and think about this. Or not. But I take these things serious these days. Uncommon. Much love. So gold hitting a new record. Silver gonna go on a tear. If you see any gold out there, any silver for cheap, any silverware, sterling silver, any old change that's pure silver, pure copper even, man, get your hands on it. It's worth money. It's worth more in its weight than it is its face value. And remember, they stopped printing pennies. Okay, another signal and sign a reset is coming. Right? Can't you see it? Marsha, thank you for the coffees. I appreciate the support more than you know. Much love. God bless. And yeah, just an update because she said was worried about you when you went offline Monday night. Well, yeah, everybody deserves an update, and I'll just do it right now, real quick. Monday night stream ended abruptly because again, something crazy happened up here. For the past few weeks, I've seen everything from loonies down the bottom firing off their guns to people creeping up onto a mountain which you have no business being on, where they're going to get blown away with lights. And then it's not even driving, like creeping up on foot, which is super suspect. A Fed helicopter, the helicopter's going around all the time, and the Fed helicopter went right over during the stream, and everybody heard it, and it was right over the house, low and loud, like 10, 11 o'clock at night. It's like, dude, what is going on here? So, a couple weeks ago, on the stream, in the stream, I look outside. No, it wasn't a stream. The first incident, I was sitting here, and I looked outside, and I thought I seen was like a headlight, and it was sitting there. I grabbed the gun, light, walked out because it was very odd. And I crept up behind trailers, campers, toward the end of the driveway, and I popped out in the end, and there was nothing. And I sat there, and I said, what in the hell? And like a voice yelled at me and said, son, fire a shot. Fire a warning shot. It was a warning shot is what was said to me. I fired a shot into the woods, and when I did, a person took off fucking running 30 yards in front of me. Took off running. They were right there, and I didn't even see them. When I shot, I emptied the clip. It was like off Terminator's best way I could describe it. When dude has a chain gun, he's mowing down the woods. And that's how the object looked. It just looked like, I couldn't tell you any details on it. It was this bipedal. It was a person. It took off. And all the trees were getting blown back, and sparks hitting off the rocks on the ground. And I doubled back to the house, grabbed another clip, and I went, it was crazy, blood pumping. I blew my left eardrum out during all this. It was crazy. Injured myself that way. Had no choice. It was nuts. Well, here I am, Monday night, sitting here with you guys just like this right here now. And I'm looking at the window, and there's lights. And like, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Something inside of me just was like, I couldn't believe that I was seeing it. And like, I thought like my wife stepped outside with like a light and was doing something or something. I just thought that it was them. I didn't hear no motor again, no vehicle. Like I would hear it in a heartbeat. She comes up here and she walks in. She's like, dude, what are those lights out there? And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And I look, and I'm like, dude, I thought it was like you or something. And I look, and it's like right on the other side of one of our vehicles. And like that vehicle, there's no lights, and it can't be. The battery's dead on it. And someone was there. And it began again. It went down again. I grabbed a gun. I lit the place up out there. And we'll back up a little bit. When I'm looking out the window on the stream, as soon as she gave me the light to shine out there to see what was out there, the light died. And I said, the light died when I said something on the stream about going out, or like a light going out. It was a synchronicity. It happened at the exact same time. And like all this unfolded at the same time. So just like last time. I get outside. I make my way down toward it. I get there. Nothing is there. And I'm like, dude, what is going on? Someone to come all the way up here where I'm at. You have to be going all your way, out of your way, hard. But for what reason? First thing everyone wants to say is to steal something. No, nothing's ever been stolen. They've been up here multiple times. So then what do you want? Then what are you doing? What is your want to climb a mountain in the middle of nowhere? You just begging to get killed? I don't think so. What is going on? Something. I got cameras set up and haven't caught nothing. I got cameras all over. Which just adds to the craziness. But I tell you this, and it's crazy. The very first one, I got camera set up right where the dude ran. Like he had to have been literally 10 feet out of like a camera range or something to where it didn't set it off. That like literally, like with the feet. But I saw him with my own two eyes. And if I wouldn't have, I don't know if I'd have believed it myself, but I'm telling you now. I'm just telling you. You guys, it's all documented. So anything ever happens to me, and we can look back and be like, okay, this was going on the whole time. So for whatever it's worth, you guys wanted the update. I had to give it to you. There it is. Anything ever happens, I mean, you guys got the backdrop on me here, like where I'm at. Like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. Okay, you can be in Alaska in the outback, way in the middle of nowhere. I go out there, I can have Starlink hooked up, and it doesn't matter. They'll show up in a helicopter and fly right over my house and be like, "Ew, we're right here." Do you understand that? All of you, everybody? Do you understand that? There's no running, there's no hiding. So, you gonna go hide? You gonna go dig into a mountain? So we could do it. Show me. China debuts the world's first 6G chip. Everybody's tripping. Oh, okay. Strange, scary. New England says W7 pick up some wireless motion sensors, dude. I do. Got them. You know what's crazy? Just today, I went down. I'm like, man, why weren't those lights going off? I went up to the solar light that I have that's set up, that's worked this whole time, all the way up to right before this event. And I look up, I go and I look at where it's at on the top of it where the solar panel is. And I swear to you, someone's taken something and sprayed it on the panel, covering it where it won't get light. And it's something you can't even scrape off. It's insane. Never seen nothing like it, to be honest with you. And it stops it from working. It just discovered this. Anyhow, I'm over it. Anything pops off. I'm down. So you seem like I don't care. Like I just told you, to me when I come up here, I'm running out there guns blazing. Some of us out here walking, instead just talking. Here's a good one. Here's a positive one, and this is huge. And hooray for Florida! But anytime I see big time events like this, sometimes like I'll have a premonition put on me, and the premonition, I'm just gonna go ahead and get out of it. I'll wait. I'm gonna play this. We'll play a piece of this so you guys can hear this, because this is at face value great news.
But
I'm gonna try to edit out the V word when he says it. He says it like once here, but here we go.
what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine dates in Florida law. All of them. All of them.
All jab mandates.
Every last one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Every last one of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and
all right, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but that's a huge move. Okay. Everything is a show, but when you're operating under rules and laws, it's all about what they set in place, and those are important because it sets the guardrails for everything that we got to live by, legally, legitimately, and what everyone else is going to adhere to. Okay, so doing away with all jab mandates is a huge move. Now, I'm going to tell you that, like a flash, I get an impression put on me. Okay? And that impression is that it's my biggest fear. Like in a second, God shows me a flash of like all this stuff that like it would take me a bunch of minutes to explain, but I see it in a flash. And I've seen it before, and it's just like a reminder that the biggest thing coming is going to be real lockdowns over a real deadly event. That will override all this here, because that will be an emergency situation at gunpoint everywhere. That if you don't take it, if you're not clean, you're a danger. And you either be rounded up and taken to a camp, where there'd be nothing but sickness and death anyway, and you're going to die, or they'll execute. If you don't listen, if you want to come at them, get around them, anything like that. It's everything we ever warned you about. The nightmare, I believe it's tribulation related at this point. I don't see how it can't be. It will definitely be a part of the great falling away. Everyone that calls himself a pureblood out there right now, because you didn't adhere to all the stuff before, the real test is yet to come. It's going to be this one. When you've got something with like a 40% mortality rate, where bodies are dropping everywhere, all this fun games, all this on the books, there's no mandates for nothing. That's out the window. It's not mentioned. There's not time. Stop and put yourself in a real pandemic situation, like a real, where millions are dying everywhere, like bodies stacked up. As I said before, you're looking out the window, your neighbors taking bodies down to the end of the driveway, and incinerator trucks pulling up to cremate them. That's how this whole thing will work in a real situation. You didn't see that last time at all, never. Hell, their big stadiums never saw anyone come into them because it was all fraudulent. Same with their big ships, fraudulent. So I get the visions of the real event all the time. It's made me spend every day of my life getting ready for it. I'm going to say it over and over so everyone knows all the time for the rest of days. That's what I did. Ever since they locked us down, I said, You got to have essential papers to hit the road? Neighbors snitching out, people going door to door? God showed me. Everyone else just didn't listen. Just don't listen. They don't heed the signs. You know, as far as I can tell, it was written, man. You know, to prepare you a place in the wilderness, away from the madness. And that's, I don't know, the best you could do for anyone is to be away from inner city madness. We've ran the simulations. It's going to get crazy. And inner cities is where it's going to get the craziest first and work its way out. Spread like a wildfire from the inner city out. Every simulation shows the same. Many worse than others, but thing when you're out remote somewhere, or at least out in the country, is people have gardens and most people know how to survive already, and they're not going to kill their neighbors for carrots, or something to eat. They're all growing. Something to think about. Something I thought about a long time ago. Where do I want to be? When it all goes down, even if it's not me, where do I want my family to be? If it all goes down, well, an area or a place where all the people are used to farming and raising off the land and already barter and don't much trust the government, period. Sounds about right. And that if it all breaks down, they're used to living off the land. They all got gardens, all got chickens, goats, cows, everything you think of. There's deer, turkey running everywhere. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, some people don't have a choice or whatever, but some people do. It's on you. I wish everybody luck. Everybody's going to ride the end out different here. And I may not even be where I'm sitting right now when this whole thing goes down. You never know what you can get thrown at life. I could throw a conference down somewhere and it all happen when I'm on the road somewhere. It's all be stuck. Me stuck with all you guys somewhere. Would it be crazy? No one able to get back home. Flights down, everything down. Be enough to make a movie right there, huh? All right, well, here's one. Let's turn the page. Let's go to your cell phones. Let's go to Google. That powers the platform that I'm coming to you on right now. Google just won a big lawsuit where they basically are not going to get broke up, but this is what they're doing on the other end. They're calling it Android lockdown. And it raises the question, are you really in control from this point forward? They have a new rule that requires all app developers to submit personal information to Google, even for apps outside of the Play Store. And they say that this threatens all of our freedoms. They say that Android, which is Google's mobile operating system, announced on the 25th of August that it will be requiring all app developers to verify their identity with their organization before their apps can run on certified Android devices. Now, it says here, while this might sound like a common sense policy, the new standard is not just going to be applied to apps that are downloaded from the Play Store, but to all apps, even those side-loaded, installed directly into devices by sidestepping the Google Play Store. So apps of the sort can be found online in GitHub and other places. But what this means is that if there's an application that Google does not like because it does not conform to their policies, their politics, their economic incentives, they can simply keep you from running that application on your own device. How you like that one? Top of the hour, yeah. And thank you, Steve, for that super chat there. All appreciated to the fullest. Always. Again, anyone new to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe, hit the bell notification. I've been trying to tell people that a lot. Make sure to recheck it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people have never even checked it. You'll get notified a lot more. My daily videos, shorts. I'm going to start dropping some shorts, testing it out. Just try to reach more people, just to see if how the avenue works. I've never done one, so be on the lookout for my first short on this channel. I may drop it tomorrow and address it to the purebloods. In the whole situation. Anyhow, there's a heads up for Google. Arizona got one for you. They're talking about sending in the marshals. Apparently, the county recorder and all the stuff is attempting to delete records ahead of a DOJ investigation in terms of cheating, voting, and all that. But doing stuff that's pretty guilty here. It's like seeing people, like, the feds are coming and, like, you see them on the rooftop burning stuff. Like, it's like that. So we'll see what happens there in Arizona once the sheriffs get in there. Now, one of my main politicians here in this state that has ruffled some feathers with Trump because he won't back down on certain topics, Thomas Massey, he's introduced H.R. 5066, which is the Safe Students Act. It would repeal the Gun-Free School Zone Act of 1990, putting an end to what he calls the default federal policy on making schools soft targets. So basically, to get armed guards and security or teachers, any of it, all that, in schools, and to quit making them sitting ducks, right? Yeah, I won't. Man, I don't even like going to states that have these policies, like Illinois. You come to my state, it's constitutional carry. Everybody can carry everywhere. Old granny over there's got one on her hip, and I like it that way because if somebody gets out of crazy, she'll be the first one to put you down. And I like it that way. It keeps everything cool, calm, and respected. Unless you want to get shot quick. So, if it's not like that, someone can come in and shoot Granny, and the next one, and the next one, and everybody else in the room, and, like, kill everybody. And, like, why be a sitting duck? I won't do it. Like, no way. And there's a difference, man, in the states. There truly is. Like, when we went to Virginia handful of years ago, for their gun rights event, we went to the Capitol in Virginia. We surrounded it. Cats even pulled out a guillotine right down the street. Had all kinds of people there. But, like, to go onto the property, you had to disarm. And some of us just wasn't having that. And, like, Virginia cats turn around and came down to Kentucky for a rally down here and seen how in Kentucky individuals are rolling right on in, right onto the grounds with their weapons on them, armed. And they're like shocked. Like, how is that? Because it's different here. It's not all set up tyrannical, full blown like your state. Well, it's Virginia. I mean, come on, look at the feds are mounted there. Anyway, but yeah, I'll never forget. Like, cats are shocked that like when they get here that and nowhere's perfect, man. Every place, even you come down here, there's a lot of people again in these mountains that just they see through the government, period. And yeah, you get these some of these hollers. A lot of them are pro-Trump or whatever, if they are political. But like, there's no Democratic strongholds until you get to, like, a big city like Louisville. You'll see Jay from the Ville in the audience, in the chat there. He's from Louisville. He'll tell you firsthand what Louisville's like. I love these places. We grew up like these are our towns and cities. Lexington, Louisville, they're our big cities. And all that we've ever had to rep growing up here. But at the same time, when it gets political, I mean, you guys seen it. Like when BLN comes to Kentucky or comes somewhere to burn something down, where's it going to be? First pick is Louisville. This is be straight up honest. And it has been. I've live streamed it, man. They burned down the hotel I was staying in. And it's been more than that. I was up there when the black militant group was up there flexing and shot themselves and all that. And the feds were on the rooftops everywhere. Again, where was it at? Louisville. So if there's been any crazy events here, it's always in a Democratic stronghold. That's where the feds will try to have their events. Every time. Every time. They will. From my experience. Now, I've been to a lot of different cities. A lot of different shootings. A lot of protests. A lot of all of it, man. And I don't know, like the feds are always the same. They're hiding up on the rooftops, the walkie-talkies and their binoculars, peeking over the top, and the black helicopters are flying around, especially at night. I'll never forget Baltimore, man. Baltimore is nuts, man. That's what caused me to get a drone. Because the helicopters were up there, like you hear them right above you, but you could not see them, no lights whatsoever. And they were stalking us everywhere we went. And we were just camera guys. We were just live streaming. They acted like we're criminals or something. They were chasing us around town. It was ridiculous. I had to climb up in a tree, and I was hiding in over this brick wall. Like, I don't know, crazy stuff, man. Anyway, Baltimore is like police state. That's how I felt there. DC, same way. Not friendly places. And I can't go into DC with my gun, my weapon, so I don't like it. And I always say when I leave DC, I'm never going back there again. You know, and I went to the inauguration. I went to plenty of protests up there. I've been up there plenty of times throughout the years. Enough to say that I'm not going back. I've been, while other people sit there and talk nothing, I've been to all these cities doing stuff. But while people don't show up and just sit there and do nothing, I've gone to like DC. They're like, oh, 1 million trucker rallies happening. Well, we'll go up there. And like, no million truckers ever showed up. 1 million mask march for anons and all that was supposed to go down. We went up there. No million people showed up. Never. I went for all these. What was that? Operation Spring, DC. Supposed to have all these people show up. Nobody's. Every single time, man. It's garbage. I've never seen a real rally of real patriots yet in this country. Like massive. Well, you go cite Bundy Ranch that was Fed infiltrated, Wildlife Refuge, which was the extension of it, just to round up patriots and put them in jail. R.I.P. Lavoie. Like, man, I've lived through it all. I've seen it all. All the characters tied into it. And I've met half of them, know half of them. And know half of them are sellout and feds. I trust nobody out here in this game. All right. I got the comedy for the night lined up right here. If you need a laugh. Chuck E. Cheese stole someone's credit card. The actual Chucky in the costume. and was spending it or using it, and actually had the people's card in his pocket, and the cops come in here and they take him down and arrest him. This is pretty crazy. You don't see this every day. But
that's management. Who's in the house? Do we know his name? We don't know his name. We're gonna detain the mouse, dude. Yes, we are. Do it. I want you to. Go around and ask. Go around. You want me to come in front of these kids? Yeah, grab him. Get him. Grab him, quick. Don't resist. Do not resist. Don't let your hands go. Let your hands go. I got wide open. Honestly, I live 1 to 10. Okay, he's the suspect. He stole someone's card here and has been using it. Someone that was one of your employees, like last week or something like that. So, yeah, I understand. Yeah, we'll have to get it back to you in a second. He's a criminal. What would you like to know?
I would like y'all to walk him out the door instead of traumatizing all these tourists and somebody like Chucky. Would y'all put Mickey Mouse in handcuffs?
Have a good night.
Have a good night. I will.
Yeah, you knew somebody's gonna flip out, and they even said it. The cops said it before when he walked in there. He's like, "Man, we're gonna do this in front of the kids," and he even said it. And I will say this. It's just me. Knowing that there was multiple officers there, and like he had a visual, and he's right there. He's not going anywhere. If the guy wanted to make a scene, let him make the scene. Right? Is what I would have said, and I would have gone up to him. I would have sent somebody up to him, one of the officers, to say, "Hey, can we speak to you over here in the manager's office here for a second about a couple things?" And if he restrained or he attempted to run or do anything like that, then obviously it's on him. Then obviously he did something. That's how I would have approached it there, to try to get the whole thing out of the kids' view. That way, that wouldn't have been witnessed. That would have been the best way to handle it. But in the real world, it doesn't happen like that all the time. The cops see him, they go in, they're taking down their suspect. Lucky they didn't tackle him and beat the crap out of him or something in front of the kids. Could have been way worse. But that mom giving them a piece of her mind on the way out. Would you put Mickey Mouse? Well, depending on the crime and who's in the costume, unfortunately, if it was a murderer or, pedo or rapist, anything like that, same thing. I mean, I don't know. You're never going to please everyone, right? But I like to just be conscious of those things. So speaking of pedos, let's dive into this big time Epstein information. And I got to tell you right at the gate, they're telegraphing to anyone who has the eyes to see that this is their craft and that they're all over this and that this is all manufactured, every bit of it, and that they're in full control of it. You can see here that the House Oversight Committee releases more than 33,000 pages of related documents, of which most of it was largely already put out stuff. Another smokescreen. Garbage. 33 is their signature, and they're letting you know this is their operation. They're in full control. And let's dive in. The House Oversight says that all the stuff shows he was not suicidal 9 days before he was found dead. Also, that right before he was dead, he said that his cellmate roughed him up and, hurt him. And he was a known killer. And all this other stuff. Well, remember the missing minute of footage? They've released it. And I don't have it right here, but in this one clip that they show, it shows a black male guard go up and open that door and go in to that hallway in the upper level. They show it clearly. It doesn't show him dragging out the body or anything like that. Like, where's that footage? Why don't you just blur the body out? Like, they're still missing all of it. And this has been covered up in so many ways. Now, there's some things with Epstein's death that you might not know that I want to throw out there right now that have become huge red flags, okay? One of them is that he created a bank account in only his name. He had multiple accounts, but he created this one account right before all this stuff went down. And after he died, $15 million was wired to this account, of which the money was taken out, of which only Epstein could have taken it out. Someone can argue and say the government's and this and that, but it's a very weird move. This is why you have people out there saying that he's, with Elvis on an island somewhere, so to speak, with Mossad. Weird things like this are weird. Okay? And it is what it is. And you can't just ignore them. Okay? This man was an asset, a Mossad asset, Israeli asset through and through. And, as I see it personally, when I put myself into the shoes of the bad guy, into the mafia, into the Mossad shoes that genocide and kill every day, all day, they leave no loose ends. They send, Jack Rubies to take out their Oswalds, and they'll send someone to take out their Jack Rubies until they're satisfied. You see, this is how they work. And before I ever would let in this case, like, how special is this man? He's not. He's an expendable. He easily, and he's loose lips. He's all the above. He's better off gone. Really gone. Like, not going through the trouble of trying to fake it, and the footage, the missing footage is going to show him walking out. Like, if they want to drop that or something, like, anything's possible, because again, there's some red flags and you don't know. But if I'm the Mossad personally, I'm not leaving anyone breathing. To talk, leave a trail, none of it. Unless you're gonna say, like, man, he is like literally upper Mossad royalty, like that, like, and they're taking care of him like that. But I'm not gonna roll any of this stuff out, because stuff is weird around this through and through. This guy has him. Yeah, he has everybody. And I say it all the time, as well as I think some of the most damning proof and evidence is already out there. Everyone's waiting for this list, because it's like, again, it's like brainwashed people waiting for something. Like, you've already got the list. You've already got flight logs. You've already got photos of Trump with this guy, with youth and women. You've got video of them together with women, and like Trump smacking his hands together and like looking at their bodies, like calling it hot and being disgusting. And it's real. And these guys were friends for a long time. I mean, it was his number one picture on Epstein's desk. Like, dude, they were all a part of this. And like, wait till I get to the next bit here. Wait till I get to this next piece. Because today, victims came out and spoke. And what we have now is a major, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, major fracturing in Trump's base. And it's not just her. She's going with Massey. And you've now got a whole big clique, GOP side, that are against, and yes, it's all politics, but they're going against Trump. Somebody has to start somewhere, somehow, some way. There has to be someone doing something to get answers, even though we know all this is a show. But they could just go along with everything and like no one be going to bat for the people, and that would really suck, right? But I mean, some people got morals too, and like they're not going to stand on the pedo issue, protecting pedos. Okay, so Trump's answer to all this, yeah, right there. Look how far back these goons go, man. Look at how old these pictures are, man. These guys are going to the biggest, baddest parties. I've showed you the video. I just told you about it. It's like, you can just imagine all the years, all the parties, all of everything they've done. And you hear about the Clinton cartel's body count, but seriously, I don't care if you voted for Trump or not. Let's be real about it. He's the Don. He is the president of this mafia, this corporation called America right now. He is their chosen one, their Gentile Messiah. You don't think that there have been people that's crossed this guy's path in this life that are no longer breathing? Huh? Makes you wonder what that number is. Huh? For real. Write your name on a piece of paper and your whole family's gone. You know, like, some of these cats, man, like, I'll never forget, Trump said he sat there and watched front row seats. Front row seats, huh? Of Blind 11. Sat there and watched the whole thing. Right there, top of the tower. Front row seats. Then he come out and says, oh yeah, there's some Muslims down there dancing around and doing this and that and blah blah blah. No. Wasn't Muslims, partner. It was Mossad. And these are facts, Jack. And I can't believe he keeps pushing that lie, or whatever, because these are known facts. And then Mossad was caught. They sent agents here to record the events of that day. Well, how's that? You had to have known it was going to happen then. This is all on film. Mainstream media had it, and it's out there archived. They even have them on TV, mainstream media interviewing these Israelis, the dancing Israelis, right? And they had a van, they had a mural painted on the sides of planes smacking into the buildings. All of it's real, and it's all there, documented. They can't erase it from history. But boy, they'll lie to you if you don't know any better. And they'll switch it on a dime. Someone like he will switch it from Mossad or Israelis to Muslims that quick. Yeah. So, oh yeah, it's all a hoax. All Trump ever wants to say is that this whole Epstein thing is a hoax. You guys all know better. We all know better. He says it's all a Democrat witch hunt that just won't go away. It's just a Democrat hoax. Democrat. No, it's not. Like, dude, you look guilty of sin. He looks guilty of sin. And I know he is. I know he is, man. No, he is. Despite his actions, the energy, and everything else, and just the history, and I'm not stupid, man. They've all done sick and nasty, deprived things. First off, you have to just to get into the club. I mean, do a little bit of research, man. The basic stuff, skull and bones, Bush and Kerry, both sides of the aisle controlled by the same club. Okay, you had to lay in a coffin naked, and you had to tell them all the stuff they made you go and do stuff so they could blackmail you. Okay, so they all have to do stuff right out the gate just to get into the club. Okay, so get out of here with he never did anything or and all that crap. It's just people making stupid excuses. Them days are long gone, dude. Like, I am seeing people getting hit to like they see that something is happening here, especially with this whole thing. Again, he's not addressing it at face value at all. He's trying to say it's a hoax, and it's just not working this time. Russia was a hoax, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not working here because it's not a hoax. And people's guts, souls, and the witnesses tell us different. Let me see if this...
Right now, there have been survivors. Epstein speaking at a press conference.
Watching his body language.
They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who is sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had.
No. Pedophiles is not an irrelevant thing. And it doesn't even equate. It have nothing to do with your success as you keep trying to deflect to. It's horrible. You're busted. And look, you got all the evidence. Trump is in photos with his own children standing right next to Epstein, unknown and convicted pedophile. Get out of here. It's already been given to you. It's right in front of your face. Some of the most damning evidence you already have. So, guess what? Everything comes out in the wash. If they don't want to come out with a list and prosecute people, guess what? These victims, some of which were never heard of or heard from until today, they say they will release a list. And it's coming. And this is about to get juicy because this recounts. And man, what are you going to do now, MACA? Make more excuses like, oh, they're lying or all whores or something stupid, high school? A weak excuse. Again, a weak excuse protecting pedos. It's going to catch up to you. Any of you out there protecting pedos at this point, it's going to catch up to you.
Giorgio, and I stand before you today as a survivor of both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I want to thank Congressman Massey and Kana for their role in putting together this very, very important bill. If Ghislaine Maxwell were pardoned, it would undermine all the sacrifices I made to testify and make mockery of mine and all survivors' suffering. That is why the Epstein Files Transparency Act is so essential.
My name is Annie Farmer, and I was 16 years old when I was flown to New Mexico to spend a weekend with Epstein and Maxwell. That same year, 1996, my sister, Maria Farmer, reported what happened to me there, along with reporting her own assault at their hands and their theft of sensitive photos of herself, of me, and our younger sister. 30 years later, we still do not know why that report wasn't properly investigated. Passing this Epstein transparency bill is one important step that can be taken to prove to Americans that the government does not side with sexual perpetrators.
My name is Marina Lacerda. I was minor victim 1 in federal indictment of Jeffrey Epstein in New York in 2019. I was one of dozens of girls that I personally know who were forced into Jeffrey's mansion on 9 East 71 Street in New York City when we were just kids. The only reason that I am here is because it feels like the people who matter in this country finally care about what we have to say. Our government could have saved so many women, but Jeffrey Epstein was too important and those women didn't matter.
My name is Courtney Wild. I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by a 13-year-old friend of mine.
Look at all these girls,
The
man.
details of the abuse that he inflicted on me for years is not important today. In 2028, I was cooperating with the federal government in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein.
My name is Jenalisa Jones, and I was only 14 years old when my friend brought me over to Jeffrey Epstein's house in Palm Beach in 2003. I had a terrible home life, but I was such an innocent kid then. I want to thank Congressman Rowe and Congressman Thomas Massey for having me here today. It was really hard for me to find my voice and to become strong enough to speak about my abuse. We are the Americans that you promised to protect, and we need your help.
Right now,
Every single one of them were young teenage girls. And this is nuts. That many young teenage girls just today coming out saying all this. I mean, they're older now, but I mean, you just heard. They were all like 13, 14, 15, 16. Like, dude, this is as wrong as it gets. And I got more. I got another one here. Listen to Massey on this.
I'm afraid this is going to be like Pam Bondi's binders. Is people are going to dig into it and say there's nothing new here. They haven't given us anything. They've given us the sleeves off their vest.
The president's called it a hoax.
He's called it a hoax. I hope he doesn't say that after tomorrow when 10 of the survivors testify in public.
And he did. And he did, because I showed you it.
Is justice, release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law. And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that. Because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us. Thank you.
That. Somebody better watch that woman. Somebody better keep an eye on that woman. I'm serious. In many of them. They can't kill them all. Now's their time to band together like they're doing in the open. There's so many of them. That's where it's going to be safest for them to all be. And in the open, together, because they can't kill them all like that. Yeah, they got to have them all standing somewhere and drop a drone strike on them. Like, I don't put it past this government, but there's so many at this point, and they're going to produce a list. So the list is what we're going to look forward to from here. The list, okay? From here, if you see in the title or any videos or anything out there, like they dropped the list or the list has been dropped, that's what we're referring to from here on out. The list, everybody should know, Epstein related, and it's going to be all the names they just said. So the moment they drop it, we'll be covering this, and we're going to be covering all the names. It's not going to be too shocking, I don't think. Maybe a few names out there. What's going to be more shocking than anything is names that people haven't seen before. Some of them. But like when Bill Clinton's on there, and they say Trump and all this other stuff, like, it's not going to be shocking. to a lot of people because, like, all right, we already knew this, but it will serve as a confirmation for sure. For sure. You know, all these women coming together, like they're, you know, like that. You've got like, if not dozens, that all can verify that this person was raping them, abusing them, sexually abusing them, and all this. And this is a network, man. This is the worst nightmare. That's why he calls it a hoax. The whole Trump thing's falling apart. I'm not just saying that. It's truly, it's falling apart. And it needs to, as it turns more tyrannical here in toward a police state, which is where they're taking this whole thing. Again, Doge came in, trillions of dollars missing. Nobody's gone to jail. Not a freaking soul. You got to be an idiot to buy that crap. And Hillary never went to prison from the last go around. Like, fool me once, fool me twice. Like, yeah, they're supposed to be coming in giving depositions in October. Like, bet something crazy don't happen before then, or bet just nothing happens. Like, Bill's so frail and everything else that, like, I don't see much of anything happening. You're talking about a Clinton cartel that was front and center at Trump's inauguration. Like, get out of here. Like, they're all part of the club. I want you to think that they're not. When I go back to thinking about that little interview of Trump a minute ago, they said, "You're friends?" And he shook his head no. Like, they were like, "Yeah, it was said that maybe that you're not on it, but maybe some of your friends are on it." And he was like already shaking his head no. Like, oh yeah, some of your friends are on there, are on that, and they're geeking. So I'm going to share with you here some polls. They show that a majority of Americans don't want Trump to send the National Guard to major cities. He says Chicago and Baltimore are next. I dropped a video on this today, and it was like it was stifled. I didn't even get a notification or alert myself. I was like, what the? This is what he's doing. He did it in California. It even went to court, and they said that he broke the law. He broke the Posse Comitatus Act, is what a federal judge just said, and they don't care. He's going to send people into wherever, and he said they'll deal with the court stuff later. Dude, that's crazy. That's nuts. That's like, oh, we don't care. We're going to override the Constitution, and if you think so, we'll deal with that later. That is crazy, as it gets. But yet, that's what's happening. So if the National Guard gets sent to Chicago or Baltimore, let me refresh you on what can happen here real quick. First off, if they're going to try to use Title 32, that's the main loophole that they're going to try to use in these instances. But he's got to try to, beyond that, call for a full-blown insurrection that's happening somewhere. Sound familiar? The governors of every state have the power over his call, except for in DC. DC's different. So they started there, and it gives the illusion that he's got this power now that, hey, he just did it in DC and there's no complaining. And they're saying, oh, crime's gone and this and that, which is garbage. I'm sure it's been knocked back a little bit since the crackdown. But it isn't 100% gone, like he lied and said. California was against the law, as they just ruled, and he's about to send them into Chicago and Baltimore. So the troops that go in there, per se, this is what Posse Comitatus says. It says you cannot use the military to police the citizens. Okay? So how they're going to circumvent this is they're going to use ICE to arrest everybody. They're going to use the National Guard as a fence and as a utility. They will be After ICE snatches them up at gunpoint, beats them down, cuffs them, hog ties them, throws them off to the side, that's where the National Guard will pick them up, ID them, fingerprint them, process them, run their biometrics, ship them, drive them, wherever they need to go. They're going to do all that type of stuff. That's what National Guard will be doing to circumvent anything. So they will not be doing the actual assaulting or hands-on, like arresting, putting people in cuffs. They're going about this in a meticulous way to get away with all this. So people need to be aware. And I've already warned you a million times, the moment they lock this place back down, all of these strike teams will be coming for me and you. They'll be coming for pure bloods at the barrel of a gun. I hope you're ready for it. I've warned about it a million times. It's the number one thing that I fear above anything at all is this event. Because it's biblical. It would be like tribulation. The falling away, the sores on everyone. Like, you better have prepared yourself a place in the wilderness, all of it. Like, it's that real deal. And I don't know. I see what's being set up, and just like, why'd they install Biden? Why? So they could flood all these migrants in here. Why'd they do that? So they could clamp down on everybody. But why did they do that? Why'd they go through the whole trouble of sending all these people in the first place? Because we needed an excuse to roll out strike teams. Well, why do you need strike teams? We're going to need strike teams to round up purebloods. So you went through all this to get to this point? This is the only way. And it worked. Perfect. Pisses me off. Because I can see clearly how they're going to use Homan. Homan, old Homan, will be the man of nightmares for any pureblood out there. And everybody you thought was a hero will be your worst nightmare. Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever forget those words, me telling you. That all the stuff I cover, all the things I say, don't you ever forget me warning you about the end. Don't you ever forget Tabu 7 warning you about the end days. About the release of this the real one. Because when it happens, guarantee many of you are thinking me. It's the moment it breaks. And then the next thing you're going to think of is, oh shit, I didn't do nothing. It's going to be a bad place to be. If it ain't clear to you now, something huge is about to happen, I don't even know what to say. Because, like, all kinds of people can see and tell and feel it. They can feel it more than anything. You never go against that gut, that vibe. You can see here a judge ruled National Guard troops to Los Angeles was illegal. You see that? It was illegal. He don't care. He does not care. This is like dictatorship. Like, but because they've got a mass of the crowd, the large portion of the crowd under the MAGA spell, they're not saying nothing or do nothing about it. It's okay to jump the train. You're not going to be called a Biden supporter or Kamala supporter. The only ones that do that are you. You're the only ones that say that crap. Like, we're not going to chastise you. It is okay to come off the train because the tracks are out ahead. The ship is sinking. This isn't going to hold up. So much chaos is going to come at some point here. There's going to be revolt and buckback. But again, at that point, this place is going to be turned already into a police state. By the time you have a chance to the people even flex to make a move, everything will be used against you. Look, listen, let me tell you something. You listen to every single thing that I just told you. Okay, you could say it's conspiracy. Well, this guy, Dabu 7, he says he thinks that all they got to do is lock this place back down, which isn't too far-fetched because, they already did it once. And he says it was all beta test because it was. And they're going to do the real deal, because they are. And when it happens, everyone's going to be screwed. It's literally going to be like the end time. It's going to be everything that they liked, everything that they want. To mark you, to track you, camps, killing people, the whole nine. Okay? So this sets a dangerous precedent. Okay? If you allow troops to go into a city like they're doing, I don't know, and start rounding people up like Trump said, the homeless. All you gotta do is call them homeless. He's a homeless. No, I'm not. I'm press. I got a press badge on. You know, all this other crap. They're like, no, you're homeless. And when you're arrested, and you get swooped off the streets with the rest of homeless, nobody has showed me yet a facility or an interview with one of these people. Not one. Don't you think it's odd? You can't find one? If you can find one, send it to me. I've been saying this. I've been asking. Guess what? No one sent me one. Send me an interview with someone that was just swooped up by these teams. Tell me how their experience has been. Not one. What the? Are people sleeping? Do people not care? Not understanding your fellow Americans are getting swooped up and shipped off to somewhere, like nobody even cares where. Nobody even cares where. Just wait till it's you. No, it can't happen to you. I got a house. I'm a homeless. People say, can't happen to you. Americans always say, it's always somebody else's problem. Till it ain't. Till your job's gone. Till you're homeless. And then after you got to go through that whole nightmare and all that happens, then you realize, it dawns on you that, yeah, your Gentile Messiah put it on the books that they can round you up just because you're homeless. And you sat here and everybody did nothing when he put it in the books. They do nothing. Okay? So now you apply all those troops and the home and strike teams to the next Democratic president, Newsom. He's of the bloodline. He's their man. He's the prime pick off the others. He's their all-star. He's the Joker of Gotham. He is the one coming in on the other side. It's obvious. It's telegraphed. Okay? You install, and don't say it can't happen. They gave you Biden. And you know it. You know Trump. Well, everybody knows it. It was meant for you to know it. It was meant for the whole world to know that Trump won that election. But you weren't allowed to say it. Shut up. Stand 6 feet apart. Put your mask on. You were meant to take it. And they gave you Biden. And not a damn patriot did anything. They said, we're going to sit here and we're going to wait it out for 4 years. So what? You can get another puppet? Hey, get your Gentile Messiah. All right. When they install Newsom and the strike teams are still running around and the event pops off, guess what they're coming for?
All of this. I'm all for crime reduction, but the conservatives who are celebrating this, you listen to the mayor of Chicago talk about the gun crisis in America. Well, what is the stop, given the precedents that Donald Trump is setting? What is to stop a Democratic, a Governor Pritzker, a Governor Newsom to say, we have a gun crisis in America, just as legitimate on the facts arguments as a crime crisis, and say, we're going to send the National Guard into states to go get their guns. There have to be standards here. The reason why Pritzker I get it for the politics. He keeps saying Trump was begging me to ask him to come. The reason why.
Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? Here's the plan, right in front of your face. All it takes is a switcheroo. And what is anybody going to do? Nothing. They're weaklings. They sit here, they do nothing. No one rides. No patriots, no militia, no nothing. They give you Newsom this next time around in an event, it's over. It's game over. I don't know, have an event and they hand it off to Newsom. It's exactly what they did last time. Warp speed started on Trump's watch. If you forgot, he's Mr. Warp Speed. And then it was handed off to Biden. All the chaos. Yes, sir. Steve, thank you so much for gifting the memberships. It's appreciated to the fullest, man. Everyone that received them, welcome to the underground. Make sure, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. And if you're new, we are live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, covering all this stuff and a lot more. Usually for a couple hours. Sometimes we get out to maybe 3 at the latest, but probably go 2.5, closer to 2.5 here tonight. McGinnis in the house. Much love, my brother. That's a brother right there. Very few people you come across in life that actually help, care, and like, we're just there, as a true one, real one. My cat's in the UK. This is for you. I told you earlier, Crown Jewels, if you're still out there. Yeah. Much love to all my cats, man. I know it's late in the UK. They're probably crashed out. It's usually, this time. It's probably like 3 or 4 in the morning over there. Yeah, England is at war. Shout out to Daz. Shout out to all my cats over there. They're going through it, and the government is selling them out large scale. They need to rise. They need to revolt back. Of course, they've been stripped of their guns and everything else, but I hate to say it's a prime example of where this leads if you let this happen. One thing leads to another, and we've all been infiltrated with migrants here. If you can't defend yourself, you're done. And we're seeing in all these places where they take away the guns. These criminals look at their hands on knives like all the time, every day, and they'll go knifing people all over the place. And there's no one even around that can stop it. And it's ridiculous. Now a British comedy writer, the latest, arrested for his tweets. You cannot even exercise free speech anymore. In the UK, it's that bad, that tyrannical. And as J.K. Rowling says here, what has it become? Total totalitarianism. Utterly deplorable. And it is. So shows clip here.
Listen, Elon Musk has just tweeted to say that he believes that we're living in a police state. The Graham story, obviously it's a semi-active case now. We have to be a little careful about what we say about that. And I'd be interested to hear how the debate goes there on that issue. But yeah, free speech is massive here. If you could pick an issue that the American government and the British government are poles apart on, it is that. We've heard J.D. Vance, the Vice President, talking about the fact that he worries for the UK. And that is an issue that I'm going to be raising every single time I can here at the White House. I did similar in Scotland. You might remember when Donald Trump came over, I talked about free speech with Sir Keir Starmer and Donald Trump. It's a massive issue here, and I'm glad we're keeping that conversation alive.
We certainly are. For now, thank you very much. That is Beverly Turner. Now,
so they're well aware of it. They're pundits, everybody. They know. I mean, everyone's calling it out that they're Musk like tweeting out like, "You people need to rise." It feels like almost like. I mean, when you've got the world's richest man sitting there yelling at you like, you guys need to do something, and like saying like he's about to get involved or something, starts to get kind of crazy and scary on different fronts that, he's tyrannical in all this. He's trying to play the good guy like they always do. But what's even scarier is that no one will naturally rise. That's the scariest thing. No one's rising nowhere. That's the scariest part. They even got to the point to where the world's richest man has got to ask you guys or make statements to try to get you rallied to make a stand. Everyone is that docile. Got no problem with letting your young men sign up for the military and go to war to get killed, maimed, and mauled in this staged crap. But you won't train them to go after the real enemy, the real beast. Knowing, just like in Ukraine, knowing that most of their young guys are going to go and they're going to die. They're going to get mauled, like, instantly. Like, all of them. Like, but instead of, like, I don't know, removing Zelensky, the main problem or something like that, like, you don't see it. It's such a stage. Canada, got one for you guys. I said this on the last show, but I didn't have a link on it. I read it off the feed before I went live last time. But now I've got some updated information. There is now a $25,000 fine for anyone in Canada that is caught walking in the woods or otherwise violating their new prohibition to where you're not allowed to go on government-controlled lands or private lands. Now, there's wildfires spreading up there, and they have been, and they haven't been doing much to stop them, it seems. Someone's been suspect of how they started. But this is their excuse they're leaning on to stop people from going into these places, saying the humans are, starting all this stuff large scale. So we got to keep you out. And it's stuff like this, Agenda 21ish and all that. Yeah, that, like, it just starts, you're done. Yeah, Canada's cooked. Stick a fork in them. Yeah, somebody's got to start to play offense. I mean, you got that right. Just looking at some of the comments in the chat, like, something's got to give. Someone's got to start to get proactive. I don't even see anyone getting ready defensively. I don't even see the militias, like, practicing, training, in case someone shows up here. Like, Jihad shows up here. Blue Helmets show up here. I don't even see no one getting ready for it. I don't know. Cartel, Trendy, Rockwell, Blowback shows up here. I don't see no one getting ready for it. So, again, docile as it gets. I don't see any patriot groups. I don't see anything. If you know of any get-togethers, anything, I say it all the time. Please let me know. Email me. But, yet again, I'm here, and I can't report on anything. It's pathetic. Say, oh, Dabu, why don't you have an answer? You don't never do nothing but sit up here and bark and whine. I've taken to the streets while you've sat there and you've done nothing. I've gone to D.C. I've talked to politicians while you've sat there and you've done nothing. I've gone to rallies while you've sat there and done nothing. I've held conferences and rallied people while you've done nothing. So shove it. What has Dabu done? Poor Dabu from the gutter, poor white boy from the mountains of Kentucky. He has done more than you, so quit running your mouth. What have you done? So, Muhammad has now become the most common name among welfare recipients in Germany. And this is what happens when you allow them to do what they've done. France, UK, Ireland, country after country inundated with migrants. Yeah. I don't know what to say, but this is kind of expected when you allow them to flood in. So the whole system is overran. These countries, man, when our kids are bigger, right now, you can't even go to certain parts of Ireland and you wouldn't even know you were in Ireland. Same with the UK. You wouldn't even know where you're at. And it's sad. It seems like they're... I'm going to roll into the war front here to wrap up the end of all this. The last segment here of tonight. Trump, he's kind of been damage control over Israel. He knows everyone realizes that they're genocidal, and everyone's talking about it everywhere, just like the pedo stuff. And like, he can't dodge all these bullets. He's not Neo in the Matrix, although he thinks and wishes he is. It's catching up to him. The pedo stuff's not going away. The Israel stuff's not going away. The genocide stuff's not going away. These are issues people are just not going to let slide. They could take and tolerate all this other crap. But again, when it comes to children being raped and all this other stuff, there's a line in the sand. And remember, Trump turned around and said, F you to anyone in his base that wanted to buy it and believe in it or even talk about it. That's how ate up he is with it. He was willing to say the hell with whoever in his base. Just because you stand on this hill, you'll die on this hill to protect children, innocent children, and he don't care. That's how guilty he is with all of it. But now, with Israel, it's the same way. It's the same thing. It's genocide every day, everywhere that you go. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. And he can't deny it. He can't even face questions on it. He can't face questions on Israel now or Epstein, because he gets grilled on both. So now he has to say things on Israel like, look, they're winning the war, but they're not winning the world, which is true. And he has to be kind of frank and honest about it, that they're not making people happy. And it's starting to affect his base. He even went as far as to say the Israeli lobby doesn't have the control that it used to. We've stopped that. And it's like, dude, get out of here. You're the only one I've seen on camera tucking the chair up underneath BB's butt. Like, they got you full blown. You and Vance are surrounded by the rabbis. The rabbis are on camera saying that you are their chosen Gentile Messiah. So, like, get out of here, dude. Now, check this out. This is interesting. Depleted uranium has been discovered at Syrian sites that were bombed by Israel. So you're talking sites that they're dropping bombs on. They're finding depleted uranium in. Dude, this is like war violations. I don't put nothing past them. Yeah, they can try to say, oh, it was from Syria. But like, what are the odds Syria ever dropped the depleted uranium bomb there? And there's not going to just be loose material hanging out. Like, they're kind of smoked here. They're getting caught using weapons, as they have before, that are banned. They'll drop phosphorus on these people. They don't care. They are genocidal maniacs, man. Check this one out. I've told you about the Greater Israeli Project. They're planning to expand and all this right out of their own mouth, which goes far and wide. It goes into Jordan. It goes into Saudi Arabia, all the way into the Sinai Peninsula. It goes into Lebanon. Well, guess what? They're not stopping at Gaza. They're going to war. They're going to all these places. They're not stopping in Syria. Anywhere that map shows their Greater Israel, they're going for it. Look at the headline. This is crazy. Trump just tried to distance himself in that last headline that I just told you. Now, what about this new one? You can't make this up. Trump zone. Trump zone would be the South Lebanon area depopulated. You heard that right. They are targeting southern Lebanon to go in and to liquidate people, to remove them. No less than 27 villages will be depopulated. Depersoned. No one cares. No one cares. People are being liquidated. No one cares to protest, to say nothing. It's such a shame. And thank you. Someone sent me an email right now saying the UK digital ID is imminent. I told you earlier, man. They're coming with it. I want to show you here. This war is not stopping. Israel's going anywhere and everywhere they want. And like, no one is stepping up to stop them. Lebanon is next. Okay? Look at this. The world's largest group of genocide scholars find Israel guilty. Not only does the UN and International Criminal Court have a warrant out for Bibi Netanyahu, which is not even his real name, but the world's largest group of genocide scholars say they are guilty. What more do we need to say? You will tell them by their fruits. So Russia rolls out a new anti-drone technology. And so do we. It's kind of crazy. You've got them announcing this, that they've got this new anti-drone laser system. Some of the baddest stuff in the world, laser-based. How's this going to go down? Because obviously if you miss an item with a laser, anything in the trajectory beyond it is smoked. A bird, a plane, Superman, anything that gets hit by the laser is fried at that point. That's the thing with lasers. And not to mention, if a laser beam is deflected back, you have a major issue. And it's possible because that's how the physics work. And it's starting to get interesting. The space war, the lasers, the talk of all these weapons, all this stuff. It's we'll see here soon with Ukraine war continuing, the drones killing people every day. They'll probably have video footage of this on display. They have footage right here. And this is the US version. And it's these right here. These are EMP devices, electromagnetic pulse devices, our military uses. And they staged them, as you can see here, to where they send out the frequency, these waves, and it will take the drones down out of the sky. Now, that creates a force field system. As you can see here, it looks like it zaps them out of the sky, right? Well, the problem with this is they just showed us with the New Jersey drones that the drones that they are flying, that our government has, you can't take them down with these things. You can't take them down like this. You can't jam it. Remember, they seem to be being controlled by an internal system. People have short memories and all this stuff. Like, we know this. Military people and everyone that was like, the guys that were chasing these things down, that got outran by them, were saying, no, this is new technology. Someone just showed everybody a brand new technology. And like, the people are so docile and ignorant, they didn't even pick up on it. They didn't pick up on it. They'll talk about it. Nothing. Just ignorant. Ignorant. It's what this place has become. It's pathetic. But a brand new technology put on display right in front of us. People are like, oh, Dobby's talking about these drones again. This when we smart ass about something or be like high school about it. Not be a bit concerned that a brand new breaking technology has been put on display in front of your face that they can't even shoot down, that they can't even chase down. So you can't shoot it down. You can't chase it down. They can't lock onto it with the heat signature to launch a missile. You can't jam it because it's not giving off any radio waves, which is all brand new. That's not how traditional drones work. This is something's being controlled by like an AI something from the inside, like prepackaged. They've told us this much. This is all brand new. You haven't even seen this put on display on the battlefield, for crying out loud. You haven't even seen it yet. Not once yet. If they come back and said, oh, there's objects out there that are outrunning us. Not once, but they did it right here. I guess the good thing is for good or worse, It's our government that showed this, instead of like truly like the Chinese or the Russians or anyone else. Like, look, we're here, and like you can do nothing. But it's our own government saying, look, we're here, and you still can do nothing. I don't like that. They basically showed us, we have got things you can't take out of the sky now. What are you going to do about it? Huh? That's what they said to me. That's how I took it. Again, Americans sleeping. There'll be a day where many guys that spent nights at the bar, like tonight, and other places, when this place is breaking down, they'll wish that they spent nights studying and learning how to take down drones out of the sky and all this other stuff, and had this knowledge when they didn't. And they'll be tracked, struck, chased like animals across the countryside. That's my prediction for this country in the end. Not just here, anywhere. When the beast rolls out, come on. You don't think that every satellite, every drone, every camera, everything that's interconnected is going to be trying to hunt us down? Oh, yeah. Crisscrossing this place looking for us. Anyone that's left, I don't know if I'll live to see that day. Maybe that's how it ends. Yeah. So there was a huge summit that just took place. This brings me to the new world order that arises. There is a new crew that has been on the rise, and we know it. Shanghai Corporation, BRICS. You can call whatever group this and that. It is Russia and China at the forefront with all these other countries. When you throw India into the mix, it's huge. It's a huge juggernaut. India was actually the one that we had to get on our side, if you ask me. And we didn't. Now, as Spiro says, Elon is building an AI robot army. And he's not the only one. China is as well. So, and others. But with them, they have legions of these things. Man, I could go on for hours with this. Like, this is talk about concerning. People are going to have issues just fighting people. But, like, these robots are going to be bulletproof and they're going to be weaponized. It should be a nightmare. You could probably send one or two Optimus militarized robots into a neighborhood and it would wipe the neighborhood out overnight. Just a couple of them. No one would be able to stop it. Have one start on one side, one start on the other. They meet in the middle. It would rain terror down and it would kill everybody until they met in the middle, and there would be nothing left. And that's just from a couple. They'd show up in a Tesla Cybertruck and hop out. I don't know. Just imagine a crew up and bailing out the back, pulling up. Something out of a movie. We're there. When no-go zones and all these places are too hot and heavy for cops to go into, for sure, this is where you're going to see these legions deployed, if you ask me. If that's what I think. And against us, purebloods, patriots, the holdouts. Droids war. I don't even know if we don't even have nothing to fight back. It's going to be a droids war. We got to have robots to fight back. Nobody's doing nothing. No one's making robots. No one's trying to teach AI the righteous way. Nobody is doing nothing. Nothing. Every time I tell you of all these problems all night long, and no one nowhere is doing anything to stop it. Like, W, why can't you report on? Give me something to report on positive about. Give me a reason. Give me something to tell the people to look up to and look forward to. It's nowhere. It's nowhere to be found. No one is doing nothing. Which just more come to their MAGA rally this weekend where they fit in. They're part of the cult. And everything's cool and they have their laughs and life's good. Right? That's why we're screwed. No patriots rallying, exercising their rights, practicing shooting. Nothing. Running the mountains, getting the youth trained, running them through some stuff. Survival. Why ain't no one doing that? Nowhere. Done. That's why America dies, if you ask me, in the end. And because we've been sold out, large scale. So Trump not concerned about Russia and China? I mean, guess not. He's bringing in 600,000 Chinese. Guess he's not too concerned. We're so set up. It's crazy. In China, Putin praises Trump. Says he has a sincere want to try to end the war. But he says, look, we're going to give Ukraine like one option here. Like, this is what Putin's saying right now. He's saying they either come to their senses right now or we're going to smash them and make them, basically. Which is crazy. Which means that a nuke could be dropped at any time, a tactical nuke. We've been waiting on this the whole time. Will it take that to end this? It might. I don't know. It may escalate into World War III from there. But what will World War III be? One nuke, two nukes, a few nukes? What countries? Which ones have to be hit? Like, what will the blowback be? Well, China is positioning itself to fully take over Russia, everything else, and against the dollar. Now, how can they do that? One way is to back their currencies by gold. They have been stacking more gold than anyone on the planet. The Chinese have. Russia, all those countries, they have. All they got to do is back their currencies by gold, and everybody's out of here. We can no longer convince no one that they have to use the dollar. Everyone will jump ship. Everyone, even your neighbor. I mean, who would want to use a worthless dollar anymore? People wouldn't admit it at first, but they'll be going and getting a yen or a renminbi or whatever. Why? Because they can take it to the bank and they can cash it in and get real gold and real silver out of it. This will crush America. This one move. That's all it takes. It's all it takes. And to match it, just to stay alive, we would have to do the same. That's why I warned you before. They could confiscate gold in this country. And they would almost get away with it. I mean, everyone's so docile. I keep telling you. Why would they miss the opportunity? I'm still waiting to see if there's anything in Fort Knox. I mean, aren't you curious, guys? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Here, let me what do I got? Do I got a poll here? All right, we'll do a poll. Maybe not. All right, there it goes. Simple one. Here for the end of the show. Is the gold in Fort Knox remove, unpin the old one, go ahead, I guess it automatically pins to the top. All right, so we'll check back in on the poll at the very end here, but it's interesting to run these polls sometimes. You see what this one says? The old world order was just buried in China. And here's why it matters. And I'm telling you, it's because all these cats have come together and they've set the hell with the US at this point. I mean, we've seen this coming, but like it just keeps escalating. As this one says, the West has just been given a rude awakening. And India's huge in this. India going with them is major in this. And they're like, look, if you want to cut us out of an economy, you want to do this and that, go for it. Like, we're ready to stand on our own. And I'm telling you, it's either hinting at again here. All they got to do is back their currencies with their gold. Do we even have any gold to back our currency with? Is the huge question. That's why I got the poll up. And here we go. China coming out with their own lasers. I was just telling you about Russia's. I mean, they just had this big parade, and they didn't only just roll out lasers. They just rolled out a brand new hypersonic missile called the Eagle. Now, China's not like Russia. They're not on an active battlefield right now every day where you're seeing footage with their weapons being used. But I'm going to tell you, Russia has the baddest hypersonic weapons we've seen on the planet yet. And it's like, it's insane. They are insane. I played the footage many times. There's nothing like it. Many people still have not seen it. When they hit the ground, the way they come down so quick, like lightning, hitting the spot. It's nuts. It's like drips of lightning coming down. It's nuts. And that's just what they've put on display thus far. There's set to be even higher Mach speeds out there that haven't even been utilized yet. These are the first versions, and I believe it. And here's China's. So we don't even know how badass or how deadly these weapons are until we see it, until we see them on display. So with China doing that, it would have to be kind of like a new war front. Taiwan is always at the forefront there, at the front. But they could also give missiles like this to other countries like Pakistan, which they were just doing. They were feeding munitions into Pakistan so Pakistan could fight India. All these countries got the little skirmishes going on, but end of the day, they're all willing to kind of set them aside to go against the United States, which is not good. It's like the end of us, man. Here's some horror. Migrants getting murdered at sea, murdering each other. More than 70 people found dead around the Canary Islands floating because the rest of the crew flipped out and just started killing them. And they arrested these guys and got them in jail right now. As they're investigating this, they caught them. But yeah, these migrants just going nuts out here, man. And when it comes down to this country going to war, it seems we've got one war that is about to pop off on Trump's watch, and it's going to be Latin America. It's going to be Venezuela. They just struck a vessel and blew it out of the water. I put it on the backup channel on Surviving End Times. And there's links below if you guys are not subscribed there. He's basically saying more's coming. And that like this should serve as a notice. Here it is. Here, I'm not going to play the clip, but this boat had some guys on it and they were supposed to be drug running, and they struck it with the missile and blew them away, just like they would terrorists, because they are labeled terrorists. And I can't stress enough right now to all of you that when this government puts a terrorist or an extremist label on you, this is what they will do to you. Don't you ever forget it. I don't care how the label got stuck on you. They stick this label on someone, it's a death wish at this point. These guys, I mean, some people today up in arms, like, how do we even know who you struck, dictator in charge? Like, how do we know? Like, give us some proof, some evidence. If you know they were drug dealers, then you should have IDs on all these individuals and let us have them. And they said they were still working, gather that, which was suspicious because you should have already had that to ID them to say that, yeah, they are the guys you say they are that you just killed. Yes, I'll be the first one to tell you the drugs have got to stop. All the stuff's got to stop. All right, but things got to be done the right way. And I'm telling you, when some old boys just picked up a quarter bag of weed, cruising from the Bahamas back to Miami, and they get blown away, and that was them. But no, your government just said that they were pushing all this other stuff, and they were terrorists, and all this. Like, there's going to be some conflicts of interest. Again, nobody cares until it affects them. Yes, these dudes need stopped. Okay? So it's a double-edged sword. But some are going to say, why didn't you, like, send in a boat to stop them? Why did you just annihilate them? And as J.D. Vance just said in the last clip, which I did not play and I skipped, he's going to say they're terrorists. They're terrorists, man. And in this instance, they're bringing drugs to kill Americans. You can understand that. I can understand that. But at the same time, I'm not no idiot. I know the biggest drug dealer on the planet is the U.S. government. So I don't fall for the same crap lesser-minded people would and will and do fall for. You gotta see right through it. Been doing this way too long. And some people just get glazed over by these headlines and thoughts and think whatever. No, an excuse you can make in the world right now. They could be blowing these dudes up out in the water. They're still letting the drugs in here. Okay? Money for war, but can't feed the poor. Yeah, that's right. So I just want to make clear, where I stand on this, because I've said it a million times. When it comes to fentanyl, I've lost more people that have been killed by fentanyl than you can even imagine. So I'm all for these people getting rounded up or taken out, but there has to be a righteous way about everything. And I just always want you to remember that if this is you one day, when they're hunting patriots, when they're hunting purebloods, man, like they hunted McAfee, chased him across the ocean all the way to Spain. And what they do to him, they Epsteined him. Man, I bet his body's still sitting over there. Again, nobody cares. You can be the biggest, best patriot out here, but man. Yeah, we're about to shut down the stream here in just a second. Thank you, JP, for the update there. Stay tuned for my updates on all this. The big thing right now is when this war breaks loose. This is about to involve us all the way up to our doorstep, to the home front. So when you see, all the signs that it's popping off, it's going down. All right, so wind this one down. Been a long one tonight. I look to be back on Friday as always. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern here, covering all the latest news. I do appreciate all you guys out there sharing and all that. And S22 says, you're in bold letters yelling it at me. I'm missing one crucial part. They say I'm missing one crucial part, how mankind comes together. You cannot rule over anyone until you see it all. Not sure what that meant. Night watch, mate. Nate in house. Much love, man. Great time to leave the big cities. You got that right. Much love to everybody out there who's trying to keep up. And I'm going to end the poll right now. 86% said no gold in Fort Knox. That's a majority. Most people think it's empty. Much love, everybody out there. There's the results. 86% to 13%. 187 votes. Much love. Mr. Rainmaker says much love. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. All the righteous ones out there. I want to thank anyone out there that supports the channel. It's appreciated more than you know, especially in these rough times. Everyone out there buys coffees, hits PayPal, anything. Appreciate it to the fullest. And also the sharing, 100% caring, getting it out there in front of eyes that my shadow banned ass and censored self can't reach. And it's the real deal. Heavily censored. And these new AI algorithms, they don't help. So every bit of comments, liking, sharing, it all helps 100%. It helps keep it all alive and going. So I thank you. Much love to all you guys out there. And thank you for the prayers. You know, the power of prayer. When one or more people come together with prayer, it is powerful. It is real. It's tantamount to magic that no one's flexing. You have skill. You have ability that you don't even exercise. And you should. Use it before you lose it. For real. Deanne, thank you so much for the coffees and the support. Some of you, I can't thank you enough for the support. Much love. God bless. Gonna take us out of here with some music, as always. I'll be dropping vids and my first short tomorrow. Keep your eyes open for that. It'll be a short, so it'll be short. And fear not. He comes like a thief in the night. Yeah. Much love, Sharon. Much love, everyone. Much love to the legendary Eon. Thank you so much for the coffees, the support, the love. Much love. Hope all's good, Malaysia. God bless. Much love, everyone. All praise to the Most High. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Much love.